Great. All right. So just give me a quick second to invite our guest alumna joining us today. Her name is Rebekka from Norway. Right, Rebekka should be joining us shortly. So for those of you who are joining us for the first time, my name is Clara. I am the alumni coordinator here at EF Academy. I keep in touch with all of our students post-graduation to make sure that we get to hear about the exciting things that they get up to even past their graduation from high school. Hello, Rebekka.
Hey, can you see me?
No, I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Oh, that's strange. Wait, I think I need to connect to the camera. Okay, wait 2 seconds. I'm gonna come back to the room.
No problem. So just while we're setting up, this is the second alumni talks in the series that we started last month. So what we do each month, we have a short casual conversation with one of our graduates from EF Academy, and they get to share their experiences about studying at EF Academy, what it was like, but also what they get up to after high school. So last month, we spoke to an alumna, Bella, from Thailand. Today, we have Rebekka. Let's see. I'm going to invite her again and see if her camera connects now. Let's see. Hello, Rebekka.
Hey, can you hear and see me now?
Yes, I can see and hear you now.
Good, I'm glad.
All good. How are you doing?
Good, how are you?
Great. Really excited to be chatting with you and sharing your student slash alumni experience with others here with us today. So
Yes.
I just gave a brief introduction to what these talks are like. So earlier this week, we announced that Rebekka would be joining us, and we gave many of you the opportunity to send in questions. So we will be going through those questions in this short talk today together. In case we have a bit more time after we've gone through these questions that have already been submitted, anyone watching now, you guys can submit your questions. There should be a button at the bottom, and if we have enough time, we will get through some of those later on. But to get us started, Rebekka, why don't you tell us a little bit about yourself, introduce yourself.
Yeah, sure. So, yeah, my name is Rebekka. As you know, I'm Norwegian and I went to EF Academy Oxford from 2016 to 2018. I'm now studying economics at the University of Oslo, and I will be returning to the UK this fall.
Exciting to continue your studies in the UK.
Yes, exactly. I'm getting my master's.
Oh, fantastic. Congratulations.
Thank you.
So firstly, let's start a bit from the very beginning. What made you choose to go to EF Academy, Oxford?
Well, I actually decided really early. I think it was like 2 years before, because I really wanted to live in the UK. I've always known that, and I really just wanted to live there a bit before applying to university there. And EF Academy felt like a safe way to do that because you have that support from, the office in your home country that kind of guides you through it all. And you have the support at the school. And it's not like you're going in as like the only foreigner at a school where everyone knows each other already. So it felt like a very safe environment to try living in the UK.
And yeah, with Oxford specifically, everyone is new at the same time, right? 11th grade, all students are new. So it also means that you're not the only one joining the new school. Every other student that's there with you is also brand new. And I guess that kind of helps with, settling into a new school and making friends.
Absolutely. Everyone kind of just has to make friends. It's like automatic because we're all in the same boat, all in the same situation. And I know it's very comforting.
Hmm. That said, is there, looking back at when you first came to EF Academy, is there anything you wish that you'd known before joining that you think would have made you more prepared?
Good question. I guess the only thing is I wish I knew not to spend all of my money on Starbucks. That's something that, yeah, would have helped me now.
Yeah, budgeting is extremely, extremely important. I feel like I didn't learn those budgeting lessons until I went to university. So getting the chance to do that a few years earlier would have definitely benefited me. I'm glad you learned that lesson before I did.
Learned it the hard way.
So when you were at school, Rebekka, what were you interested in? What kinds of activities did you take part of?
Okay, so I actually like tested everything. I did like creative activities like modeling club where we painted little figurines, and I did badminton and I tried some more academic clubs. But I ended up mostly doing Model United Nations and History Club.
Oh, okay. Tell us a little bit about Model United Nations.
Sure. So it's basically like a mock debate where everyone gets assigned a country and there is a problem to discuss. So you're all supposed to present your country's position on that problem in front of everyone and then debate amongst yourselves to find a solution to that problem. And, in that setting, you're pretending that this is the UN and that you're, in the General Assembly or something like that. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay, so then it's a lot about public speaking, I'm guessing, right? And debating and presenting. Are those skills that you had already when you joined the club and you really wanted to show them off, or something you learned
Not,
along the way?
yeah, no, that was not something that came natural to me. I've always been very introverted and kind of quiet, I guess. But I'm really glad I joined MUN despite of that, even though it was terrifying. I mean, I was so nervous. The first time I had to speak in front of like a properly large room at Cambridge MUN, I was so nervous that I completely changed my accent. It's usually like American, kind of like now. And then I went completely British with a hint of Irish. I think my supervisors had a good laugh about that. But I made some really good friends and it was worth it. And I'm probably a better public speaker because of it.
Mm, yeah, sometimes it's those challenging, tough situations that make you a little bit uncomfortable that end up really breaking you out of your comfort zone, right? And you sometimes discover that you've got skills you didn't know about or, grow as a person. So,
Exactly.
um, so good that you took part in lots of different clubs and until you found one of the ones that really stuck to you.
Yeah,
Um,
oh, sorry, you
no,
first.
no, go for it.
I was just gonna say that's one of the great things about EF Academy that you get to test things out without like there's no formal kind of application thingy or there's no stress or money about any of these activities. So you can literally just try everything without having to worry about it. And if you want, you only have to show up once, and that's fine.
Hmm. No, it's great to be able to try this stuff before university when you're supposed to have like a slightly clearer idea about what you're meant to do. So tell us how did EF Academy going to EF Academy compare to a high school in Norway, let's say?
So for me, it was quite different. I only had 1 year at a Norwegian high school, and it was a huge change to go to EF Academy. It was, well, at EF, it was more serious, more academic, and they definitely expected way more of us. So it was very different in that way, but it also, I feel like that prepared me way more for university than what the Norwegian high school would have done. Yeah, but that's just my case. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, every case is different, but yeah, when all students are new at the same time, joining EF Academy and an international curriculum, we understand that every student comes from a slightly different background and a different school from back home, but really try to find ways to help students adapt and fit in quite quickly. So, what was a typical day at EF Academy like, if you can remember back to your student days?
Yeah, so I would wake up and head to breakfast with my friends. The cafeteria was at school, so we all sat there together, ate breakfast, had coffee, and then we headed for classes. Sometimes we also had free lessons, which was great. It gave me an opportunity to binge watch reality shows and everything. And then
Important
we
to fit
had
that in.
exactly. We had a really long lunch, like an hour or something. And I would just eat or tan outside if it was, good temperature. Sometimes I would even take ancient Greek lessons in lunchtime, just because I felt like it was such a long break, but I needed something stimulating. Yeah. And then we just had more classes. And after classes, I actually did more classes because we had like optional extra classes after school. And since I am a huge nerd, of course, I had to join all of them. And then I had dinner, and then I went to the library. Very typical for me. But I also, after the library, hung out with my friends. We usually went to get snacks, which were free, and that was great. Ate a tub of Nutella or two, and yeah, just chilled together until curfew.
Really busy weekdays by the sounds of it then.
Yeah,
What
for me.
about weekends? What do you get up to at a boarding school on weekends?
Yes, I would say my weekends were way more balanced. Sometimes I would go to London because it was fairly close and I have family there. So that was really convenient and fun. Sometimes I would go into Oxford City, go to restaurants and stuff like that. Sometimes we would have picnics in the park that was next to a school. And I also, of course, went to the library.
Also important.
Yeah.
Do you remember much about campus? What was campus of EF Academy Oxford like?
So the residence was like, well, the main building of the residence area kind of was this really cute English typical house, bricks and everything, really quintessential British. And then we had a few, residence buildings with a few classrooms next to it. And then we had a school that was 2 minutes away walking. That was like more modern, very modern actually, like glass and stuff like that. And we had cafeteria and also like a salad juice bar-ish and an area where we could tan or play basketball. I don't know if that's what they did there. I'm not very athletic. And there was also like kind of like a barbecue area where they would have fries and stuff. Yeah.
Nice. I know that this past year they actually installed some outdoor pizza ovens outside the main building. Yeah, I get really jealous
So
whenever I
typical.
see.
Just after I leave.
Um, so what was your favorite memory or experience part about being at boarding school?
Definitely friends. I would say you get a completely different type of friendship when you're living in a dorm type setting. I guess it's kind of like what some people will experience at college. And it's just so much fun. Even though I studied quite a lot, I still managed to be quite social and hang out with my friends just because we all lived together. So I could just knock on a random door and just hang out for 5 minutes or 5 hours, something like that. So yeah, that was the best part, hands down.
I think your friends and other people at school become kind of your family away from home, right? When you're living and studying together. Was it hard to leave home or convince your parents that you wanted to go to a boarding school? Was it something that they wanted for you?
It wasn't hard at all. I would say just because I've been so set on it for a really long time. I think I told my parents for years that I wanted to move to the UK, and they were really supportive of that. And, it wasn't really that hard for me to leave home just because I was so incredibly excited. But yeah.
So they knew from the very beginning that you were very clear on wanting to study abroad.
Yeah, I was very, very stubborn. Yeah.
And when you arrived to Oxford as a new student, what was it like making friends at the beginning when you arrived not knowing anyone? Was it scary? Did you settle in quite fast?
I thought it would be scary, but as I said, like everyone's in the same boat. So it was more automatic than I thought it would be. I think, the first friend that I made was my roommate. I came in at, I think it was midnight on the first day, and I looked completely terrible after my flight, and I stumbled across, I don't know, like the hallway or something. Like I literally fell through the door, and she just laughed, and we immediately became friends. And the next day we were shooting funny videos together, going to breakfast together, and it's just everything is like that, like automatic. Also because the classes are so small, it's just like inevitable that you become really close.
Sounds like you had a good icebreaker to
Yeah,
to make that first friend on campus.
yeah, for sure.
Um, Great. So you've told us so much about being a student at EF Academy, your student days. Now you're at university, about to finish your bachelor's degree in economics, right? If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
How did you decide on economics as what you wanted to study at university, and also how did you decide on Norway as Oslo as being where you wanted to study?
Yeah, so that's kind of been a complete mess. My story's not very straightforward. I was planning on attending St. Andrews actually, for history. And yeah, I guess the summer after IB, I decided that that was not the right thing for me. And I gave up my place at St. Andrews and I went to Oslo thinking that I was going to be there for a year. Um, I did international studies there initially with a major in economics. Um, but then I enjoyed economics so incredibly much. And I don't know, I loved it and I loved the maths. I suddenly like, I mean, I did math studies in IB, so I wasn't really good at maths, but I was really surprised to find that I was enjoying it so much. And I just realized that that was what I wanted to do. And yeah, I just went for it. I think it's so important to keep an open mind and just be super flexible and yeah, open to changing it.
That's quite a big change from history to economics. But yeah, I think it's important to remind a lot of students, and especially as the time comes to apply to universities, that there sometimes could feel like there's a lot of pressure to know what you want to study exactly. But it sounds like for you, you thought that was history, changed course a little bit, and ended up discovering that economics was something that you never knew you were actually quite interested in, right?
Yeah, absolutely. It also helped really that I took economics HL in IB because it gave me such a good foundation to actually enjoy economics in university. Yeah, I never expected that I would love it so much.
And so now you're off to do your master's soon, also in economics, right?
Yeah, hopefully. I first need to get my bachelor's and my grades, and then hopefully I'm off to the UK once again and yeah, getting my master's.
Exciting. Are you still in touch with any of your friends, by the way, from your Oxford days?
Oh yeah, a lot actually. Especially two of my friends from Oxford, my old roommate that I just told you about, and our
The one who
neighbor.
laughed at you.
Yes, exactly. And she has laughed at me ever since. And our neighbor Margot also, I talk to them every day, like without exception, multiple times a day. And we also have a bigger group chat with a lot of the girls, and we keep in touch. And hopefully, we'll meet soon after everything with Corona is, yeah, has calmed down. Yeah.
Yeah, we're really looking forward to starting to organize alumni reunions again once it gets a bit easier to let people travel and gather in back at campus or at other places. So sit tight because we will be resuming that as soon as we're able to again.
Oh, I'm excited.
Great. So that's all of the questions that we were sent in throughout the week. And we're also at time for our call. So I just want to say thank you so much, Rebekka, for joining us today and sharing your student and alumni experiences with us. I think it's quite helpful, not just for other students who are maybe thinking of studying abroad or thinking about EF Academy, but also for current EF Academy students to hear from a former student like them who remembers being at Cotuit Hall and the residences and seeing what some of the journeys that our alumni join or go on to after being at EF Academy.
Yeah,
So thank you so
yeah,
much.
yeah. It's been really
Uh,
fun to hear and talk about Oxford. Of course, I love it. So yeah.
Well, I wish you the best of luck finishing your bachelor's degree. No doubt if you've kept up the study routine, it sounds like you had at Oxford. No doubt it'll be a breeze.
I hope
And pretty
so.
soon you'll be starting your master's at St. Andrews, which is extremely exciting. And yeah, as soon as we're able to organize traveling again, it would be fantastic to have you back at Oxford to visit campus and old teachers. So we'll definitely stay in touch for that.
Sounds great.
All right. Thank you so much, Rebekka. Have a great day and speak
You
to you again
too.
soon.
Yeah, goodbye.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Thank you guys for joining us. Bye.